This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1005, Discovering Your Big Idea. And I'm your stand-in host, John Lee Dumas, but you can call me JLD. And Justin's giving me a quick rundown of who you are. And so I am fired up to chat with everybody here today. But let me give you a quick rundown of who I am. I am a serial entrepreneur who launched the first daily podcast interviewing successful entrepreneurs back in 2012 called Entrepreneurs on Fire. And over the past 6 years, I've interviewed well over 2,000 successful entrepreneurs, been awarded Best of iTunes. We generated over 70 million downloads to date. And we've been able to turn Entrepreneurs on Fire into a successful business financially as well, generating over 7 figures of revenue every year. And I currently live on the lovely island of Puerto Rico with my life and business partner, Kate. And our purpose is to bring value to people just like you in as many ways as we can. And what I really want to focus on today is what I personally consider the biggest struggle that most entrepreneurs are facing. They simply don't have their big idea. Again, I've interviewed over 2,000 successful entrepreneurs, and I've been able to identify through those interviews the one reason that they succeed. They have one big idea and they go all in. No distractions, no disturbances, just pure focus. On the other hand, entrepreneurs who fail because they are trying to do way too many things at once. They like to go 1 mile wide and 1 inch deep in all these different areas, and they wonder why they're not making an impact. It's like they're screaming into the winds. And believe me when I say this, nobody's hearing them. The winners, the successful entrepreneurs, they go 1 inch wide and 1 mile deep. They do the exact opposite. Instead of going 1 mile wide and 1 inch deep, they say, I'm going to go 1 inch wide and 1 inch deep, and I am going to niche down until it literally hurts. And then these entrepreneurs, they find a niche that they can dominate, and only then do they stop. Only when they can say, I can dominate this niche now, and then they place their stake into the ground. Winners focus. This is an acronym. Follow one course until success. Focus. It's what winners do. And I get it. Most people are scared to do this because they think that their niche is going to be too small for them to be financially successful. I've heard it a million times. This is a big, huge mistake because if you don't niche down, your voice will be lost in the crowd. You're going to find that it's impossible to attain the most important and most elusive thing for entrepreneurs, momentum. Momentum. Momentum is everything. And if you start broad and vague, you will never attain it. If you start to niche down and you niche down till it hurts and you find that place to put your stake into the ground, you will dominate and you will attain momentum. You will grow a raving fan base. Yes, it will be small, but it will be mighty. When I launched back in 2012, Entrepreneurs on Fire, guess what? I was the best daily podcast interviewing successful entrepreneurs. I was also the worst. I was the only. That's the kind of niche you want to start dominating. And then once you engage this raving fan base you're going to create and you ask them what their number one struggle is, you'll be able to create the solution for them. And that will be your first big financial win. But most people never get there. They never get there because they never discover their big idea. You need to discover your big idea so that you can niche down and dominate. One true story, driving 1,000,000 miles an hour in the wrong direction will take you 1,000,000 miles in the wrong direction every single hour. And that's what so many people are doing. They're driving 1,000,000 miles an hour. They're working so hard. They're doing all these things, but they're going in the wrong direction. And that's why they're never going to win because they're not heading to their true north. They're not heading to that place where their big idea is waiting. You need to discover your big idea. You need to niche down. You need to dominate. Personally, I've taken 4 big ideas, niched them down, dominated, and then turned them into multi-million-dollar revenue streams over the past 6 years. Now, that didn't happen overnight. I had to dominate these niches first, and then slowly grow to the point where I was able to turn them into revenue-generating machines. Now, what I'm about to share with you is actually my fifth big idea. That fifth big idea was to create a free training that will get you to your big idea fast. Now, let me tell you, I did exactly what I shared earlier. I asked my audience what their biggest struggle was. They told me that they were not able to identify their big idea. And so I'm creating the solution for that. And that's exactly what you need to do on your journey. So I'm going to walk you through this training now. But if you ever want to complete the training as it's meant to be completed with the worksheets and the video guidance, just visit yourbigidea.io. That's yourbigidea.io. And this training is 100% free. So just get over there, knock it out, make it happen. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, what is the first step in getting to your big idea? Well, it's an exercise. You need to take out a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, write the word curiosity. On the right-hand side, write the word expertise. Set a timer for 7 minutes and press go. Now, for these 7 minutes, you're only focusing on the left-hand side under curiosity. Write down everything that you're curious about. What are you excited about? What fires you up? Where are your passions at? What were you excited about as a kid, as a young adult, as adult? If you had the entire day off tomorrow, what would you do? Write down everything for all 7 minutes. Then it's going to beep. The beep's going to happen. And then reset the timer for 7 minutes and again, press go. And for these 7 minutes, you're only focusing on the right-hand side under expertise. You want to write down everything that you're good at, all the skills you've acquired over the years, every area of expertise that you have right now in your arsenal, write it down. Go to your friends, your family, your loved ones and say, hey, how would you respond to somebody that said, what is John good at? What am I good at? How would you answer somebody else asking you that question? And then you might be surprised by how other people look at you in your areas of expertise and what you're good at. Write everything down. Now the beeper's going to go off again. And now it's time to move on to the next step. And this is what I call finding your zone of fire. This is where you take your curiosities and you merge them with your expertise. This is where you take your skills and you unite them with your passions. Draw arrows where you see a connection with your curiosities and passions and your expertise and skills. Now, taking a step back real quick, that's just like, what is something that I'm passionate about that I also can provide value in? What is something that I'm excited about or curious about that I can also say I have a skill set in? What are those connections? Draw arrows, combine the two. That is so key. And when you find those connections in the areas where you're both passionate and skillful, both curious and an expert, you found your pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. This is where you need to go all in. This is where you need to niche down till you can dominate. This is where you can make your stand in life and set the world on fire. Now, there is a lot more on this training to get you to where you need to be to truly say, I have my big idea. So just head over now, rock it out, yourbigidea.io. You are worth the investment of your time. You truly are. Your big idea will be your North Star as you move forward to dominate at least your little section of the world. You got this. And this is JLD signing off. And remember, your optimal life awaits. And I will catch you on the flip side.